You wake up each morning convinced that your choices belong to you. You decide when to move, what to say, what to believe. It feels immediate, personal, undeniable. Freedom seems woven into every action, yet physics paints a quieter, more unsettling picture. Every motion your body makes is governed by electrical impulses traveling across neurons. Those impulses arise from chemical reactions. Those reactions follow laws written long before you were born. Gravity holds you to the earth. Electromagnetic forces bind your atoms together. Invisible interactions dictate how your heart beats and how your brain fires. Nothing in this chain asks for permission. It simply unfolds. What feels like intention may be the surface ripple of deeper currents moving beneath awareness. If unseen forces guide matter with absolute precision, and you are made of matter, then the question becomes unavoidable. If forces move matter, what moves us? Look around the room. The floor feels solid. The walls seem still. Nothing appears to be pulling or binding anything. Yet gravity is silently anchoring you to the planet, curving space beneath your feet. Electromagnetism prevents your hand from passing through the table, its repulsion masquerading as solidity. Deep inside every atom, nuclear forces grip particles together with astonishing strength, resisting collapse. None of these forces can be seen. They have no color, no texture, no sound, and yet they dictate structure, motion, stability. A physicist like Richard Feynman would insist that what we call touch or weight is merely interaction, fields influencing fields. We trust our senses, but reality operates beneath them. The visible world is only a surface effect of invisible exchanges. Every stable object is suspended in unseen tension. But maybe these are only the obvious forces. We imagine empty space as a passive backdrop, a silent gap between objects. Remove the stars, the dust, the air, and what remains should be nothing. But physics refuses that simplicity. At the smallest scales, the vacuum is restless. Quantum fields stretch across the universe, and even in their lowest energy state, they tremble. Particles flicker into existence and vanish again, brief fluctuations rising from what we casually call emptiness. Space is not a void. It is a field in disguise. What appears still is seething beneath measurement. The stability of atoms depends on these invisible fields. The structure of reality emerges from their constant activity. Nothingness is not neutral. It is structured, active, quietly generative. The absence we picture has never truly existed. If emptiness itself carries energy and potential, then absence is no longer absence at all. If emptiness isn't empty, what does that imply? Galaxies do not scatter randomly through the cosmos. They gather, spiral, and cluster, guided by gravity shaping immense clouds of matter into luminous systems. At a far smaller scale, atoms do not dissolve into chaos. Electromagnetic attraction arranges electrons into stable patterns around nuclei. Within stars, nuclear forces compress hydrogen until fusion ignites, releasing the light that crosses interstellar space. None of this resembles disorder. Beneath apparent complexity lies mathematical precision, equations describing curvature, probability, symmetry. Matter follows these frameworks without hesitation. What appears chaotic from a distance resolves into hidden order when examined closely. The universe does not assemble itself haphazardly. It unfolds according to relationships embedded within its fabric. Stability is not an accident, but a consequence of deep structure. Yet recognizing structure raises a deeper possibility. If invisible principles organize everything we observe, then order may not be the final layer, but structure is only the beginning. We speak of time as if it flows, steady and irreversible, carrying us from past to future. Clocks measure it. Memories confirm it, but some theories suggest time may not be fundamental at all. It could emerge from deeper relationships between physical states, a byproduct of change, rather than a river that carries it. On the smallest scales, equations often function without privileging a direction of time. The distinction between before and after may arise from entropy, from the statistical tendency toward disorder. If so, then what we experience as movement through time might be the unfolding of underlying laws, not a force pushing us forward. We may not travel through time. We may simply be configurations, evolving within constraints. The future would not pull us, nor the past release us. Instead, deeper rules would dictate every transition. If time isn't fundamental, what is? There are boundaries no experiment has crossed. Nothing outruns the speed of light. Every attempt confirms the same ceiling, causes precede effects, preserving a consistent chain of events. Entropy increases, ensuring that order slowly dissolves into probability. These are not suggestions. They are constraints woven into the equations describing reality. They function like guardrails, invisible yet absolute. We do not see them, but every process obeys them. A particle cannot negotiate with relativity. A system cannot reverse entropy at will. These limits shape stars, atoms, and biological life with equal authority. Existence unfolds inside parameters. It did not choose. The universe appears free, yet its freedom operates within strict conditions. Invisible rules define what can and cannot happen. They enforce coherence across cosmic scales. And once we recognize their authority, a deeper thought emerges. Rules imply structure. Structure implies source. Every particle, every object, every living thing is more than what it seems. At the deepest level, matter is not solid. It is vibration, resonance in vast quantum fields that permeate the universe. Electrons are excitations in the electron field. Photons are ripples in the electromagnetic field. The objects we perceive as stable are patterns in these invisible vibrations, fleeting configurations held together by energy and probability. What appears unchanging is merely a temporary alignment, a ripple paused long enough for our senses to detect it. A table, a star, even our own bodies are orchestrated dances of fields, interacting with subtle precision. Solidity, permanence, and independence are illusions. Stability is a surface impression over a foundation of restless motion. If matter is vibration, if existence is a pattern in unseen waves, then where is stability? Where does certainty reside in a world built of fluctuating fields? If invisible forces guide the assembly of atoms, and atoms in turn form neurons, synapses, and circuits in the brain, then thought itself may not be as autonomous as we imagine. Decisions, feelings, and impulses could be the downstream effects of physical interactions we do not perceive. The choices we believe are personal might be orchestrated by patterns established long before awareness arises. Our consciousness, the sense of self, might emerge from forces that have no concern for intention or morality. Each belief, desire, and hesitation could be the echo of fundamental laws rippling through matter. The familiar sensation of "I decide" may be a carefully constructed narrative, a way for the brain to interpret outcomes that it never truly controlled. Recognizing this destabilizes the notion of freedom. What if free will is interaction of forces? There is no sudden explosion of understanding, no cataclysmic revelation. Instead, there is a subtle, quiet awareness. We go about daily life believing in control, choice, and autonomy, yet the mechanisms that shape our actions remain unseen. Gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear forces, and the restless quantum fields operate without our notice, guiding the behavior of everything from atoms to galaxies. Even our thoughts, our perceptions, our intentions may be molded by interactions we cannot detect. Reality continues in precise accordance with laws we cannot witness, and we participate without ever grasping the full scope. The world feels tangible, stable, and personal. Yet it is orchestrated from layers beneath perception. We navigate these invisible currents, interpreting outcomes as our own. And yet, despite the silent governance of unseen forces, despite the absence of true control, we persist in calling this freedom. We began with the belief that we act freely, that choices arise from within, and yet every thread of existence hints otherwise. Invisible forces shape atoms, fields orchestrate matter, and the architecture of time and causality guides every event. Even thought, memory, and intention may be echoes of these deeper currents. The sensation of control, the illusion of agency, the narrative of self, all could be a carefully constructed interpretation of patterns we did not author. And so the question returns, heavier than ever: are we truly agents, capable of independent action, or are we merely expressions of forces beyond comprehension, ripples in a cosmic field whose rules we can never alter? There is no answer here, no resolution to soothe the mind. Only the tension of possibility, the quiet disquiet of recognition, and the haunting awareness that what feels personal may have never belonged to us at all.